Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As you all know, my name is Faiza Fahim, and today I'm here to give you a brief overview on Metaverse. So, for the next few minutes, I will try to give you all a basic understanding of Metaverse. Okay. First of all, moving on towards why I selected this topic. We all know that Facebook has recently rebranded the name to Meta, and they are focusing their future on Metaverse. Um, this term is not yet clearer yet because it is a very research oriented topic and everyone would have a different perspective on this topic. Like Mark Zuckerberg, etc. They say that metaverse is the future of internet. But on some websites, you will see that they will be saying that it's a video game or it's a social platform. And you will also find on some websites that it's the worst version of Zoom, which is deeply uncomfortable. So it's really hard to say that to define exactly what metaverse is. However, there is a brief history of all metaverse, so I would be demonstrating to you guys. First of all, moving on towards the history, this term was originated in year 1992 in a science fiction novel, which is known as Snow Crash. And that author defined it as an amalgam of meta meaning beyond, and verse meaning universe. So metaverse is beyond universe. Definition is collective virtual open space created by convergence of virtually enhanced physical and digital reality, which will provide immersive experiences. And it sounds a bit complex definition. So for all of you guys, and especially for non-IT professionals, it's actually that the activities that took place in isolated environment will eventually will take place in a metaverse. For example, we all need land to live. But in case of metaverse, we would be buying digital land, we would be constructing virtual homes, and we have a virtual social experience. The concept is not fully evolved yet, but it is certain that this is the future of technology. But it is a combination of multiple technologies, for example, artificial intelligence, virtual reality, Internet of Things, 4G, 5G, blockchain. All these would be combined in this metaverse. So it is no wonder that companies would have on the globe would have a big bets on it to have a very, very long and very huge interconnected virtual world. Whenever there is a new technology, there are some factors that lead to that technology. So a few factors that has led to metaverse. First of all, we all know that in 2019, the world was hit by COVID, and everyone, including students, teachers, office environment, corporate culture, everything was on work from home and online environment. So that hybrid working environment has fueled metaverse. Evolution of Web3, we all know that currency is now changing, cryptocurrency has been introduced. So all these factors later are leading towards metaverse. Consumerization of VR headsets. We all know that children like to play 3D games. We also go to cinemas to watch 3D movies. So it is also one of the main factor of metaverse. High-speed networks. There was a time when we waited for around 2 or 3 hours to just load an image. But right now there is no limitation on speed of networks. So it has also fueled a metaverse. Shift in customer preferences. Whenever there is a new technology, it is because of the customer base. There was a time when people would like to buy things on cash, but right now everyone is going towards online shopping, online currency, cryptocurrency. So shift in customer preferences fueled metaverse. And moreover, cloud infrastructure, advances in artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, all these things have advanced metaverse. I remember once I was in bachelor's, one of my sirs said that the future is of data, that if you want to destroy a nation, you have to destroy the data. And for that data purpose, data is so huge, we need cloud, but we cannot say that cloud has security issues, so we don't want to move towards cloud infrastructure. We have to move it. And metaverse will also use cloud infrastructure too. One more question that comes in our mind regarding metaverse is that who will own metaverse? The answer is there is no single entity or an organization that can own the metaverse. It is meant to be an ecosystem. As I told you that it's a mixture of hybrid technologies like 4G, 5G, blockchain, Internet of Things. So all these technologies will be interlinked with different layers to create a smart shared experience. Metaverse is a very diverse topic, and there are multiple concepts involved in it. But due to shortage and limitation of time, I have tried to cover it from the avatar perspective. One main concept in metaverse is of avatar. First of all, what an avatar is? Avatar is a visual representation of a person in majority of virtual reality apps and games. And typically, it is used in stimulated environments and in online multiplayer games. Uh, Avatar is of utmost importance because they depict the user personality, user likes and dislikes, what is a user identity. Metaverse avatars are the embodiment of metaverse user. Like for example, each metaverse user has a metaverse avatar, and it's the person identity in metaverse which will allow them to go on different adventures and in different experiences. For example, if my name is Faiza and I have a user on email or I have a user on team, I will have a separate avatar for Faiza, and it will be depending upon my likeliness. It will be depending on upon my user personality, and everyone has a unique experience of avatar. In case of avatar, there are in metaverse there are two types of avatar. First one is the full body avatar, and imagination is a bit difficult for all you guys. So I have shown you a picture that will show that how the full body avatar will look like. And full body avatar will allow the user to seamlessly move around inside a virtual world. And then there is a virtual reality avatar that is a limited avatar in sense that a whole body is not moved, only few parts of the body will be moving, like if animation will demonstrate you that how the VR avatar would be working, and it is under the control of that user. Now comes the opportunities in metaverse. What will be the opportunities in a technology, in this technology, as it is a very renowned term nowadays and everyone is creating a hype regarding this technology. So first of all, there would be an opportunity for industrial and manufacturing industry. There would be an opportunity for entertainment. Virtual reality is already being used in entertainment, but metaverse will lead it to a next level. Healthcare, for example, we all know that the doctors perform dissections on different parts of a frog or all that insects. But this healthcare sector will be evolved in sense that they would be doing surgeries in a stimulated environment. Young doctors will get training in that metaverse. High technology, it will also create an opportunity that people would be communicating on teams like us, but in 3D environment. Right now, I am communicating with all of you in 2D environment, but that would be 3D environment. Education, it has already been evolved. People are now shifting to online education, but in that education, students will be performing experiments and practicals in 3D environment. And real estate and e-commerce, obviously, it will be evolved as the metaverse will be deployed. We all are auditors, and whenever there is new technology, we are very curious about it, how the accounting firms will react on this technology. So whatever accounting firm grabs the meaning of that metaverse will be the one who will be surviving 10 years ahead. So a short intro like how metaverse will impact audit technology. First of all, as an auditor, we have to go to fieldwork, we have to go to client to get our data and to perform our audit. But in case of metaverse, the interaction would be on virtual reality, and it will create an intimate environment that would be conducive to connection. And client connection will be without any geographical boundaries. A person would be sitting in one continent, other person would be sitting in another continent. So it would be a virtual reality experience. Trainings, we all know that the employees need to have training. There is not an issue for mid-career employees because they already have a know-how of how the corporate culture works. But for newly graduates, for fresh graduates, these training will be in hybrid environment, and people would be saving their commute cost. There would be increased employee interaction. You can think of metaverse as a happy version of Zoom. People would be having an intimate in-person meetings, and they would be miles apart, but they would be connected virtually. And any global accounting firm that can hold an employee meeting or training without regard to travel restrictions or cost, etc. Sales would also be affected in metaverse. It will allow people to connect emotionally with customers. There is a need of physical interaction in case of sales, because most of the customers, they are also of the point of view that they need physical interaction, but that emotional connection would be built in metaverse. The metaverse will distinguish from competition. In metaverse, a client may experience an accounting firm working from their offices, processing their day-to-day routine task, and it is a distraction-free, full working environment. When we work in office, there are a lot of distractions there. When we go to physical place, when we are working solely work from home, then the person becomes isolated or they may suffer depression. But in metaverse, workers would be able to work in a virtual office space where they have an emotional interaction too, like they are not cut off from the office, but they would also have some isolation too. As a Pakistani, we also want to see interest of technology in Pakistan. So how would metaverse will impact Pakistan? There are some development startups that are trying to work on virtual reality and all that stuff. So metaverse is impacting Pakistan. Education, as I already told you earlier, that it has been through online meetings and through Zoom and Teams culture. That culture has been developed, but obviously 3D would working would also be deployed in that metaverse. Real estate business, people would be buying digital land, and one more thing, that digital land would be bought on the currency of cryptocurrency and bitcoins. So people would be using bitcoins, so this way bitcoins would be accommodated in metaverse. Fashion industry, there is a brand that is known as DressX in Pakistan that is working on 3D dresses, and there is also a female model that's name is, I think, Imikulia. You can search it on Instagram. That is doing modeling on 3D, and it is impacting Pakistan through metaverse. Defense Ministry of Defense is also working on metaverse. Institute of Optronics is working on how we can use simulations for different defense equipments. And tourism, you can imagine that you are like a bird and you are traveling in the hills of Nathia Gully or Murray or northern areas, and you will have a very different experience. So it is yet evolved in evolving phase, because this term is not yet clear on the broader level, but everyone is getting affected with this term. In the ending note, I would like to say, obviously, this is not part of my presentation, but in if you study it from a psychological point of view, this metaverse might affect our relations. So from psychological point of view, how we have to manage that relations in the presence of metaverse, there is a different topic. It's a different topic, but there are many articles available on it. And if you are interested in that, then you can also search it, that how to manage our psychological perspective in metaverse. So that's it from my presentation. Thank you so much. Any questions?